So it is okay?
Yes, it is okay.
Yeah, my name is Ilmar Tamm, and I am from Estonian Crop Research Institute. The main area of my research is oat breeding, but I deal also in some extent to barley breeding and also with agrotechnology of cereals. And today I plan to give a short general overview about different topics of research trials connected to organic cereal production and cereal seed production. And this research has carried out not only by me, but also my colleagues. Shortly about organic farming. I looked for the spreading of organic farming, and the acreage of organic farming in Finland and also in Estonia has been increasing year by year, and it has been reached already over 300,000 hectares in Finland, and it takes the 14% of total agricultural area acreage in Finland. It is somewhat smaller in Estonia, over 200,000 hectares, but it is already over 20% of total Estonian agricultural land. So the average in of European countries is about 8%. So our both countries exceeds quite a lot the average share of organic land. According to the Green Deal in Europe, the share of organic land should decrease at least 25 to 25% of total agricultural area. So probably the organic farming will increase also in future, and we need more and more organic seeds. Shortly about the Estonian Crop Research Institute. We have state institute dealing with plant breeding, agrotechnology questions, also with plant protection and plant health, and preservation of plant genetic resources. And we also the seeds for farmers. We started with organic trials in our institute already 15 years ago. The first trial was the testing of varieties of spring cereals, and now we are continuing with this testing of varieties in organic conditions, and we have also several trials of agrotechnology research. Organic seeds has somewhat mostly similar demands as for conventional, but some demands are more critical or more important. Organic seed must be healthy. It means free from seed-borne diseases. It was mentioned already by first speaker Anders, and it is somewhat more complicated to achieve than in production of conventional seed, as chemicals are not used in organic farming. To produce good plants, to produce the normal plants, the seeds should be vigorous. It means that this seed fields should be able to produce good or at least normal yield. Of course, the seed should have good germination, and the seeds should be free from weed seeds. The demands for organic varieties are somewhat different compared to the conventional ones. And at first, varieties used in organic farming should be able to produce good yield, also at lower and variable nutrient availability. Most of the present varieties are bred for intensive conventional management, and they are able to produce top yields only in case of sufficient supply of fertilizers. Varieties with deep and well-developed root systems for efficient ability of uptake nutrients and efficient use of nutrients are able better to produce good yield also in case of lower nutrient availability. Weeds are problems in organic farming, and therefore the weed suppression ability of varieties used in organic farming is also one important trait. That is not possible to suppress diseases by chemicals. By these reasons, we need to select varieties of better resistance to diseases. And also varieties produced in organic farming should have good quality, because organic products are used mainly for high quality food, and therefore the demands for quality characteristics are usually high, and sometimes even higher than in conventional. I know that, for example, in Finland, oat is grown for food purposes and exporting to other countries, and the same situation is also in Estonia, and the food oat should have good quality, and demands are much higher than for feed oat. Weed suppressionability of varieties is connected to several traits, and the first of this is plant height. The higher plants are able better to suppress weeds. Also, good ability to cover soil surface, fast initial development, and good tillering helps to suppress weeds. And also some crops has the allopathic ability, this ability to produce some biochemicals suppressing the weeds. And here you can show some sample from our organic trial. And this is one barley variety not able to grow well in organic conditions. And you can see that this plot is full of weeds. If we left empty places on the surface, the weeds will appear very quickly and start to grow. And another example of oat plot, you can see that in this plot there are not free spaces for weeds, and you can't see almost any weeds in this plot. I said already that the higher the plants are able better suppress to varieties, is better able to suppress the weeds. And usually oat plants are higher compared, for example, to barley varieties. And you can see that sometimes oat plants can be very tall. But this kind of extremely tall varieties tends also to lodge very easily, and therefore also the variety on the left side of picture is enough tall to suppress weeds. This sample is about our organic winter rye trial, and you can see that this variety covers very well the surface already in the earlier stages of development, and you can see the weeds on the plot. Besides weeds, I already mentioned, and it was talked already by first speaker Anders Bergen, that diseases are one of the critical problems in organic farms. And by this reason, selecting varieties for seed production, it should be choose varieties of better disease resistance. There is not varieties 100% resistant to all diseases, but we need at least to select the best ones. And seed-borne diseases is one of the critical problem in organic seed production. And you can see on this picture the samples of loose mud, of barley and wheat, and these pictures are made also from our organic field. Oat can also have a loose mud, but oat is oat varieties has quite good resistance to this disease in Nordic climate, and if you select the varieties of better disease resistance, it's quite easy to prevent the spreading of loose mud for oat crop. And our experience will show also that selecting the varieties of barley and wheat of better disease resistance, this disease has been not caused severe problems in our field trials. Also, common plant or stinking plant of wheat can cause problems in seed production, and not only in seed production of wheat, but this disease spreads less than loose mud. In Nordic climate, most of diseases of cereals are spreading less than, for example, in southern countries, and I believe that by this reason, Nordic climate, like in Finland and Estonia, is quite favorable for organic farming. Now I bring some samples of more suitable varieties for organic farming, and I introduce the varieties I believe that at least some Finnish farmers already know. But the first is our Estonian winter rye variety Elvi. Elvi has very good winter hardiness, good ability to suppress weeds, high protein, and also good lodging resistance. And Elvi is grown also by Finnish farmers. And another Winter variety is our oldest variety, Sangaste. Sangaste is a very tall variety. It is able to grow over 2 meters high, and it has a very good ability to suppress weeds. The variety has also good winter hardiness, big rains, but a quite weak resistance to lodging due to very tall plant height. But despite this, some of organic farmers like to grow this variety in his fields, and I know that some Finnish farmers also are growing this variety. Our oat variety Kalle is also popular among organic farmers. This variety is able to produce good yield in organic conditions, and it is quite tall also, and able to suppress quite well weeds. The variety has very good volume weight, high 1,000 kernel weight, these big grains, and also protein content above average, and good disease resistance. Besides the selection of variety, weed suppression is one critical question in organic fields, and here you can see a sample of our organic trial full of weeds, and I believe that this kind of picture is quite familiar for most of organic farmers. And this picture of organic oat field is taken from one organic farm. We calculated the amount of annual weeds from our trial, and as you can see, we find that there is a great number of feed plants on 1 square meter of plots. It was up to 100 as an average of 4 trial years for oat, and even more for barley and spring wheat plots. So there is a really great number of small plants or weeds, and if they find favorable conditions to grow, they can suppress the main crop cereal. But also you can see that oat is somewhat better ability to suppress the weeds as barley and spring wheat. The most widely spread weed was in this trial white goosefoot, and I believe this annual wheat species is very common in Finland also. And I believe that the most difficult weed types to suppress in organic farming are field thistle, milk thistle, and goat's grass. How to suppress weeds? The first chance is to select crop and variety able to suppress better weed. We talked already about varieties. Harrowing will help to suppress annual weeds. Also crop rotation, all kinds of weeds, straw peelings, spring plow helps to suppress thistles, and also grazing can be used to suppress of weeds. Now some sample of this For example, rye, winter rye has best ability to suppress weeds among cereals grown in Nordic climate. And here you can see the organic field of winter rye Elvi, and this field is almost free from weeds. And this picture is about organic root trial, and you can see that this picture is this field is also quite free from weeds. We use weed harrowing every year in our trial fields, and we harrow the cereals 2 times, spring cereals, first time before germination and second time in 3-4 leaf growth stages. And the most critical and most effective is first harrowing, but the suitable time for this harrowing is very short. We need to do it just before germination, and to be effective, we need dry weather for harrowing. So in case of rainy weather, the positive effect of harrowing remains much lower. But the harrowing helps quite a lot to decrease amount of annual weeds, but it helps to suppress only annual weeds. There has been worked out several equipments to help to fight with weeds, and there is one sample of Comcat, and this is an equipment you can use already in later stages of cereal development, and this equipment, by this equipment you can cut the stems of thistles, for example, and it damages not cereal plants, soft cereal plants. To fight with couch grass, it's useful tool is the cultivator Quinn. We have been tested it in Estonia also. The couch grass has very well developed root system, but this root system is not very deep, and this quick win helps to bring the roots of couch grasses on the surface, and if the weather is sunny and dry, they will dry on the surface. But this cultivator is effective only in case of dry weather, and if the weather conditions are rainy, the roots will start to grow again, and the positive effect will remain low. I mentioned already grazing as one effective way to suppress weeds, and this summer I visited one organic farm in central Estonia. This is a very large farm, about 700 hectares, and this farmer has beef cattle, and he uses grazing and grasslands in crop rotation with cereals. Mainly he grows oat, but also some winter rye. And you can see that this field of this farm looks very nice, and you cannot find here almost any weeds. And the grain yield of this yield was almost 5 tons per hectare, and the volume weight of of grain was just extremely high, 65 kilograms per hectoliter. Our oat variety Kalle has very good volume weight, but this level is much higher than average in my trials. And another picture of this field of this farm, and it looks really better than average conventional oat field. And also one picture about rye field Elvi from this farm, and this field is also free from these weeds. So one question about quite critical for organic farming is to produce cereals with good yield and to produce vigorous seeds for sowing. Only if plants are growing in normal conditions, they will be able to produce vigorous seeds. And by these reasons, we need to think how to improve the soil fertility to achieve the better yield and the seeds of better quality. Crop rotation is, of course, one tool for improving soil fertility, especially growing leguminous crops in rotation. Traditional organic fertilizer manure, but there are also available some organic fertilizers in the market. And one new tool in Estonia is growing cover crops. And now short more overview about this. In this picture, you can see the yield, grain yield of barley during last 5 years in our conventional and organic trials. The trial in organic conditions have been grown every year after favorable break-crop of the red clover. Despite this, there is quite a big difference between the yield of organic and conventional plots, and especially in more favorable years. And as a 5 years average, the yield of organic trial reached 63% of the yield of conventional trial. The same situation is also with spring wheat. In the case of unfavorable years, the yield levels of different types of trials were comparable, but in more favorable years, there were quite great difference between the yield levels of organic and conventional trials. And as an average of 5 years, organic yield was 77% of conventional one. The difference is between levels of organic and conventional yields of oat were considerably smaller than for barley and wheat, as oat is less demanding for nutrients, and also oat has better root system. And the difference was only 15%, and oat produced a much higher yield level than barley and wheat. And I believe that this is one reason why oat is a most popular grain in Finland in organic farming, and also in Estonia in organic farms. winter rye is also able to produce very good yield in organic conditions, and the difference was only 11% as an average of 5 years trials. But the limiting factor of producing more winter rye is a market. There is not enough market for winter rye. So I said that traditional organic manure will improve the yield, and if you use animal manure, you can be sure that your soil fertility and grain yields will improve. Just I recommend to find more effective way for spreading. We have been tested also slurry and digestate besides manure, and here you can see the results of our trial. All these three types of fertilizers increased the grain yield of oat up to 40% or even more. So this digestate, slurry, and the manure are great potential to improve the yield and soil fertility. There are available also some special organic fertilizers, and one of them is Ecolonagra. It is an organic fertilizer produced by Finnish company Ecolanoi, and we have been tested this fertilizer 2 years in our organic field. And in this picture, you can see the trial of first year, and here you can see the control plot without fertilizer, and the fertilized plots looks much better. And it will reflect also in the results. The fertilizer Ecolonagra increased the oat yields considerably in our trial, and this increasing of yield was up to 36%. And also we carried out this trial with spring wheat, and the yield of spring wheat increased as well. And also there was improved the protein content of spring wheat, and the level of protein is critical in producing the high quality baking wheat in organic conditions. And now about cover crops shortly. Cover crops, the crops or crop mixtures sowed in addition to main crops to improve the soil fertility. It is quite new topic in Estonia, and it is yet not widely used by farms. And we started the research of this type of crops some years ago. Cover crops can be sowed in spring before winter crops, and or autumn after harvesting the main crops. And in last case, they can be cover the soil only in autumn and plowed in autumn on soil, but some of the crops are able to survive winter and covering the soil during course of winter and plowed in the soil in spring. And cover crops are not used for green mass or no grain or some other purposes. They are just plowed in the soil as fertilizer. And cover crops helps to decrease the leaching of soil nutrients in winter period, increase soil organic matter content, improve soil structure, bind atmospheric nitrogen if legumes are grown, helps to suppress weeds, reduce erosion, help maintain the soil moisture, also promote microbiological activity in soil and increase amount of earthworms in the soil. There can be used very different types of crops as cover crops. Some legume crops like field bean, field pea, hairy vetch are suitable, and also Pilsim clover and crimson clover not used for other purposes in Estonia, but suitable as cover crops. Oil radish, white mustard has been showed very good ability to suppress weed in our trials. There can be used also common cereal crops like rye and oat. One interesting crop used used as cover crop is tillage radish. It is a totally new crop in Estonia, and this crop is a very large root and therefore good ability to accumulate the nutrients. And also this crop improves the soil structure, suppresses well the weeds, and reduces the amount of soil pathogens. Buckwheat, lacy Passelia are also crops suitable for cover crops. And mostly there are recommended to sow mixtures of crops as cover crops, as in this case, the effect to soil is more diverse. Cover crops may increase somewhat the yield of following cereal, and here you can see one sample of our trial. And some cover crops like hairy vetch and tillage radish, and also mixture of different crops increased the yield of following barley. But the main effect of cover crops is long time improving the soil fertility. One more novel topic in improving the grain yield and soil fertility are biostimulants. It is also quite a new topic for us, and we have been carried only some research trials. Biostimulants are products of natural origin that promote plant growth and development. They affect physiological processes and help to survive plants' stressful situations. They can be bacteria and other microorganisms, humus preparations, seaweed extracts, herbal preparations, amino acids preparation, natural minerals, and also mycorrhiza. So there are a lot of biostimulants in the market in Estonia and in Europe also. And a couple of years ago, I visited one organic conference in USA, and there was more than 350 different types of biostimulants on the market in the USA, and also in Estonia. Every year there will be appear new preparates. So it is quite difficult to select what kind of them would be more effective, and is the effect really profitable for farmer. Biostimulants can be used for seed treating, soil treatment, spraying during the plant growth period. Just I will give one example of our trial of biostimulants carried out during 3 years. We used two different variants of biostimulants, and we used a combination of different preparations. In variant 1, there was used Bactomix, Hefejumi extract, and in variant 2, in spring, effective microorganism, seaweed extract, Raskila, and C90. And there was used the biostimulants also in autumn after harvesting. What kind of preparates they are? Bactomix 5. It is a set of microorganisms improving the biological activity of soil. Hefejumi extract is a soil improvement preparation and plant growth stimulator. Seaweed extract contains nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and helps plants to survive unfavorable environmental conditions. Raskila is a growth stimulator produced from horse manure, and it contains various micro and macro elements, humus substances, and humic and fulvic acids. Seaweed extracts contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. I thought maybe, yeah. C90, natural mineral crystals produced from seawater, contains wide spectrum of minerals and trace elements. Effective microorganism improves the soil structure, accelerates the decomposition of organic matter in the soil, strengthens the natural resistance of plants, increases the yield and quality. So there is a very wide range of biostimulants available, and these were just samples of them. And now you can see the results of our trials during 3 years. In first year, there was grown spring wheat variety Manu, and you can see that this both variants where was used, the stimulants gave a positive effect to grain yield compared to the control where stimulants were not used. In second year, the first year was not very favorable. There were dry periods during growing period, and as you can see, yield level was not very high. And I said already that many stimulants are able to help the plants to survive on unfavorable conditions. And in case of drought, we got a positive effect to the yield. But second year was very favorable for oat, and we grow oat on these plots, on the same plots. Exactly, oat variety color was there, and the general yield level of oat was very high in this trial. And as you can see, there was no positive effect of stimulants in this year in favorable conditions. In third year, there was also grown oat variety Kalle on these plots. There was also quite dry year, not very favorable for cereal production. And similar to first year, we got a positive effect of stimulants, increasing the yield of oat. So that's all. And to summarize the topic of this biostimulants, I just recommend if you plan to use it, just try to find the reliable trial information about the effectiveness of these preparates, and not to follow only commercial information. So thank you for attention.